Hi guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. As you can tell by the title, we're going to get into this video with something that I feel has been spoken about numerous times, but not yet on my channel. So I wanted to go ahead and share my little spiel about what it means to be a female truck driver out here, okay? Of course, I'm going to come from a personal experience. I'm not going to be talking in general because I'm not every woman out here. I'm specifically Niesha, and so the things that I'm speaking on is based upon my own experience. The main reason why I decided to make this video is because I actually just ran into a situation that I don't run into often, but it's happened more than once. Not to this extent, but yeah. I'm gonna just go ahead and show you this video. And then we'll talk more about what it means to be a female on a truck or just the experiences that I faced. Okay. Y'all, I don't know where this sense of calmness came from. But when I tell you I was so angry just like not even 3 minutes ago. So I feel like I don't even really know where it came from. I can just give it to God at this point. I believe it's God that's got me feeling a lot more calm, because when I tell you the frustration of what just happened, and the thing is I know that I show my good times and things like that, but I don't want to ever make it seem like I don't have bad days. And let me clarify, actually I don't have bad days. I have bad instances. I have bad situations that occur within a day. And today I just had one of those bad instances. And when I tell you, I just got so angry. So this is the thing. Today, I just went to this shipper to go pick up my load, right? Normal. And so I go, first of all, let me be honest, there's only like one or two people that's actually respectful here. And so I naturally have to hone in on my extra nice side, because I don't like how their demeanor is towards me. I don't want to chalk it up to anything specific, but they may just be rude people. But there's only two people that are generally nice here. And so today I spoke with one of the nice people, then I had to go in and speak to one of the people that are very rude. Like, first of all, when you go in there, he sits there, he barely looks at you, and if he does look at you and he recognizes that you saw him look at you, he'll hurry up and divert his eyes away, as in to say, I didn't notice you, so I'm not gonna acknowledge that you're even there. So, oh God, something's in my eye. Okay, I'm back in business. But so he won't even acknowledge that you're there. You'll be standing there for like 10 minutes literally. Like the first day I was there, I was so frustrated. I didn't vocally express it, and I tried not to show it, outwardly. But him sitting there and looking back and forth from his computer to like another thing, just to like he literally won't even acknowledge that you're there. And then when he finally opened up the little area where he can receive the paperwork, he didn't say hi. He just sat up there and was like, paperwork, like very rude, like, right? And so when I tell you that's something he does every time he sees me, and I just chalk it up to that's just who he is, and I'm not gonna get frustrated about it because it'll ruin my day. So I ran into him. He sat there and let me stand there for like 10 minutes while I'm waiting for him to take my paperwork. Then he opens the thing and he's like, your paperwork, so I'm like, fine, whatever. I already know that's how he is, right? So from there, he tells me where I can go and pick up my load. So I go over to the area where I'm supposed to be at, right? Now, I'm bobtail. I was able to bobtail to this shipper. So I only have my little tractor. I don't have my trailer with me. And there's this guard dog, or yard dog. There's this yard dog that is about to do a maneuver, right? Now the thing is, he's pulling forward right now as I'm about to drive past him. Now the thing is, he pulled up forward and then stopped and then pulled forward some more, right? And he was doing this very slow, like turtle like he was barely driving. And so it was clear for me to go because it was a whole lot of room behind him Like, I'm talking about a whole trailer worth of room behind him, because obviously he's preparing to do a straight back. So he has the room to do so, and he's still pulling forward. So I proceed to go behind him, and I knew he was going to eventually start backing up. But for one, I was all the way down the road. I was all the way down, like, I'm talking about rows of trailer down, when he saw that I was coming his way. And by him driving slow, you know, a lot of people would assume it's because he's preparing to let you go, right? Why else would you be doing a turtle move forward when you're about to do a straight back? So I proceed to go, and in the midst of me driving past him, he finally turns on his reverse, which causes the sound. You know how the sound goes, but he didn't back up yet, because the sound had just started and I'm already behind his trailer. Mind you, he's still a whole trailer length in front of me, so it's not like I'm like squeezing past him. No, I'm just driving past, right? So I get over to the trailer that I'm about to go to, and I'd say about a minute or two goes by, and he drives next to me, right? And he stops. So, you know, of course, I'm trying to figure out, you know, what he wants. So I just park, you know, I'm preparing to back into my trailer. But I didn't. I just waited until he parked. So he parked, and he got out of his tractor, his little yard dog thing, walks over to my window. And so I roll down the window for him, because I'm not sure what he's about to say. And when I tell you, this man blew up at me, I mean blew up. You would have thought that I cut him off and snipped the side of his tractor or something. Like, you would have thought that I went ridiculous on this man. I mean, dead serious. He sat up there and said, "If you ever," and I mean it, like, with all intensity. This guy proceeds to go off on me. And the thing about me is, I know how to control myself, but even I slip up sometimes, right? So when he says, "If you ever," I was about to hit you. It's pretty much what he was trying to get at. And so I proceed to tell him in my monotone, because y'all know I will monotone someone to death, because I try not to get upset. So it's not like I'm trying to annoy you, but I'm trying to, if I hear my voice escalating, it makes me more angry, you know? So I'm over here monotoning my voice because I'm hearing him curse me out, and I'm trying not to let it affect me. So I'm like, "Sir, you didn't start backing up until I was already practically past you. Like, I was literally centered behind you before I even heard the sound of and you were driving slow forward, you know?" But I can't even get my voice out, because before I could even finish my sentence, I guess he recognized that I was gonna rebuttal him, and so he just goes to saying, "You're a piece of like," but he didn't say crack, he said the S word, right? Now he like starts cursing me out, but he's walking away at this point. And the thing about it is, I thought I was good. I thought that I was good, but I felt my emotions boiling, because I kept hearing him say piece of crap, like over and over and over and over again. And the thing is, the inside of me is like, did he really just say that, you know? And so the problem is, I lost my composure, and that's where I'm getting at. He had already drove off. I had already backed into my trailer, and by the time I backed into my trailer, I was angry that I had backed into my trailer, because I wanted to pull back over to him to curse him out. So instead of unhooking from my trailer, I got out of my truck and I walked over to where he was. And by this time, I was very angry. And so pretty much we have a shouting match. And the thing is I'm a Christian, right? And so as a woman of God, one of the things that I try to maintain is my composure. But another thing is, I try not to curse. My thing is, I don't curse. I'm not saying that's what a Christian is someone who never curses. Everybody has slip-ups, but I know that me cursing leads me to doing and saying more than just, you know, things I want to do and say. It's like a trickling effect. So I try my best to keep my language as clean as possible. But everybody knows when you cursing somebody out and you ain't using no curse words, that junk get difficult. And I'm laughing out, but when I tell you the frustration behind trying to get your point across angrily and not cursing was very hard. So a couple curse words slipped out, and it angered me even more because it's like, this dude got me coming out my composure out here, making a fool out of myself. And the thing is I could put the blame on him all day long, but it was really me. I decided to get out of my truck. I decided to walk over to him. It's snowing outside. I decided to walk over despite being inconvenienced by doing so. I'm talking about trailers down. I'm talking about at least 15, 20 trailers down out and walk to get over to where he at. He could have pulled off and made me walk further. But I was that angry that I decided to walk that far down just to talk to him and get my anger off because I was that frustrated. And the thing is I said stuff that I didn't mean, and I didn't even really feel better after. I felt even more angry because I had to control my tongue. I couldn't allow myself to just go all the way off. None of that helped me, is really where I'm getting at. None of me losing my composure helped me. It only made it feel worse. It only made me more angry because I couldn't say what I wanted to say because I didn't want to say anything. I just wanted to make him feel what he made me feel, which was angry. So I tried to throw jabs, and it was very pathetic, is really where I'm getting at. So I say this to say, number one, don't let anybody get you to lose your composure because it's not worth it. It's never worth it. It only makes your situation worse. 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna have to go back up there, and he would be like one of the only yard dogs out there, and I might need him eventually one day. Now him cursing me out is his thing. He decided to come up to me and curse me out, but how I responded was my thing. He was in the wrong because whatever he was trying to say, talk about he almost hit me, was invalid than a mug. He was just upset for whatever he was trying to talk about. He acted like I don't have peripheral vision. He acted like I don't know that his trailer makes noises. His tractor makes noises when it's about to back up. And it didn't even make no noise till after I was almost past him. He was just frustrated because he saw me trying to get past. And he thought that I was just going to wait for him to move his turtle behind back. Now, I'm not someone who isn't graceful. I'm going to allow you to move if it looks like I'm not going to be able to get past you. But you think I'm going to wait for you, and you've clearly given me enough room to go past, and you weren't even backing up before I decided to go past you? Like, no, you can't have it your way. It's just not going to work that way. But me responding in such a way that I lost my composure, that's on me. And now I feel bad because I'm trying to keep my character out here. I'm trying to be a woman of God. I'm trying to not exude negativity. I'm not trying to be out here creating a reputation that would make it seem like I'm just out here cursing people out, because that's what they're gonna express whenever they talk amongst themselves, if they do, about whatever transpires throughout the day. And I'm gonna be one of the main topics. Number 2, please, people out here, don't be disrespectful to people. Okay, maybe there would have been a day where I could have allowed that to happen without me blowing up, but today just so happened that I had a lot of inconveniences happen all within like a 2-hour limit, and him coming up to me was the icing on the cake. Okay, now I didn't do anything detrimental to his day besides walk up to him with my 5 foot behind and curse him out, and I barely did that because I don't like to curse. So, you know, but the thing is, if I was this burly dude that was already having a bad day and he came up to me like that, then I would have caused some damage. So I'm just saying that to say, don't be out here disrespectful to people. It don't matter how bad your day is. don't be disrespectful. Stop being disrespectful to people. Stop talking to people the way you know you wouldn't want to be talked to. I'm sure he didn't want to hear you a piece of crap this morning. So I don't know why he came at me like that. Especially since I at first didn't even reciprocate his energy. He was just that upset that he decided to come at me crazy twice. Dude came out the vehicle, talked to me crazy. I responded, came at me crazy. Even worse, the second rebuttal. Like, didn't you hear that I was keeping my composure and you still decided to come at me crazy? Like, goodness gracious. Number 3, men out here. Stop taking advantage over the fact that it's a woman you talking to. Because I can guarantee he wouldn't have talked to me as crazy if I was a grown man. Okay? Stop taking advantage over the fact that it's a woman that you're talking to. Because I could very definitely be a woman that can tear you up. Okay? I ain't saying I am that woman, but I ain't saying I'm not. It don't matter who I look like. Keep your composure out here. Stop talking to people crazy. And stop taking advantage of these women. Because I'm a very sweet woman. I'm not going to talk to you crazy, even if I'm having a bad day. I promise you that. I promise you that. Because that's the type of person I am. I don't do that. I don't do that. Because I wasn't raised that way. And now I'm a Christian, so I know the consequences of that. I don't talk to you crazy. But you talk to me crazy, I got to work on myself still. And nobody is out here perfect. I have a good head on my shoulders. But if I was somebody that was even an inch off, I could have used something to take his life. And that's just that. And it's not worth it. But it's something that happens every day out here. So I'm just saying, respect is so important. And it gets thrown by the wayside the moment emotion overrides your sight. Just allow yourself to give yourself a couple minutes before you come up to somebody with anger. It's not worth it. So the situation was not resolved, and it could have been something that I could have just brushed off had I not came at him the way he came at me. It's not worth it to be upset at somebody to the point of throwing your anger on them. It don't matter if they said something to you or not, if they did something that frustrated you or not. It's not worth it. Half the time they don't even know they did something that angered you. Okay? And stop being so entitled out here that if anything goes out of your way, out of what you want, you angry at the person. It don't matter, because it's not your world. Okay? He mad because I done almost passed him up. Now he making up stories talking about he almost hit me. I know what almost hit look like. Use a doggone lie. out the woods. I mean, anybody could look on the cameras and see. I'm not blind. I'm not stupid. I know what it looks like to almost hit somebody. Dude was just angry because he was mad that I didn't wait on him. Anyways, I'm going back and forth with my emotions. I'm halfway angry, halfway trying to control the anger. Then I'm halfway just happy that I'm leaving the situation. Then I'm sort of frustrated because I'm going to probably be back there. Anyways, that's it. Okay, so clearly by that video, you can understand that I just recently ran into a situation where I was disrespected by someone who worked at the shipper that I had pulled up to. The worst part is they're not the only rude person. This shipper just so happens to have a couple rude people, but that's actually what I want to talk about. I really just want to talk about the situations that are so prevalent when it comes to being a woman. Not everyone has a YouTube, so not every woman out here can express the things that they've gone through, but the women that are on here do. I'm someone that tries not to float around negativity, but I do feel that insight is important. So that being said, being out here can sometimes be stressful when it comes to being a woman. And I hate to make it seem like there's a woman versus men thing out here, but it is realistic to explain that being a woman out here where it's a predominantly male career, and there are men out here who are old timers who feel that either women shouldn't be out here. And honestly, I've even gotten comments underneath my videos like that. There's also men who feel that women aren't good drivers. I've actually heard that prior to me coming out here on the road. I've heard men say that women just aren't good drivers, that they are not focused enough, or that they focus on the wrong things, and therefore they get into more accidents. They just aren't good drivers. They don't know how to parallel park, all that jazz. And so those stereotypes, those stereotypical statements sometimes flow into, you know, having your CDL. There are men out here that question if you're even capable. There are men who will put forth their help without you even requesting it. And I'm not saying that that's a negative thing, but sometimes it could be assumed that you don't know what you're doing, so much so that guys are often giving you help before you even show signs of needing it. Sometimes it does help. Sometimes it could be a tad bit annoying. Simple. Like, for instance, if I'm trying to back up, before I even turn my reverse on, before I even switch to reverse, there is a guy trying to guide me through. And it's not all the time, you know, trust me, it's probably happened far less than 5 times, but it has happened. And just an assumption, but I can assume that it would be primarily because I am female or because I am small. But a lot of women out here are not the same physical stature as men. And so, you know what I'm saying? It's just, sometimes it could be a little bit like, I don't want to say demeaning, but a little bit like you are underestimating my abilities. Besides that, there is also, of course, the catcalling, the disrespect when it comes down to trying to get your number and things like that. There's been a few times where I've been disrespected, and I've made funny videos about that, of me saying, like, you know, of course there was a creeper out here asking where my ring was in the middle of the night and things like that. There have been men who have tried opening my door to speak to me and call me pretty. You know what I'm saying? Or there has been men holding up traffic while we're on pursuit on a freeway, trying to get my phone number, trying to get my attention, and won't let traffic by until I spoke to them or gave them eye contact. There's been men out here who have followed me, presumably trying to follow me to my truck, but I've had to stop my tracks to get them off my back. You get what I'm saying? There's been men who've offered, you know, there's been slighter instances where there's been men who have tried to offer me food and things like that. But you can tell by their demeanor that their motive is often sexual or just borderline cat and mouse. Like, it's very, I don't think I've ever been respectfully pursued out here. And maybe I'm wrong, but the demeanor, the vibe has never been genuine. And to be quite honest, it don't matter what vibe it is. I'm not trying to be pursued out here, you know what I'm saying? But to know that every single time I have been, it has been some type of sexual, it hasn't been respectful, you know what I'm saying? And what I mean by respectful is more so it hasn't been, I just, you know, want to get to know you. It's been more like, I'm trying to see what you trying to do, you know? Besides that, because of course that's an issue all in itself, and I feel like that could be its own video, but I'm not gonna dip and dab into that because it's obviously prevalent in more than just trucking. But being a truck driver, being a woman out here, eyes gravitate towards you. Me personally, me being a woman, me being 5 foot, me being me looking childlike, I personally attract men who are strikingly older than me, or men who are a few years younger than me, because they expect me to be their age, though I'm 24. So it's often gross, can't lie to you. It gets gross out here the way that guys are. Another thing that I run into is blatant disrespect. Clearly, like how you saw in the video, That isn't my only time that I've had someone blatantly disrespect me. There's been times I've been called the B word. B word, to be quite honest, it doesn't bother me that much. But it's just the knowledge that I know I never did anything to deserve that type of energy. I'm not someone out here that's picking a fight with anybody or picking any type of quarrels with anybody. Generally speaking, I don't believe I've ever run into an actual situation with a woman out here. And I mean that with the understanding that sometimes I can't remember certain instances, but I could almost guarantee to you every single situation I've run into has been with a guy. And it's unfortunate, but I can only conclude from that either they don't find me threatening, and so they feel that I am not as valuable to respect, or it's just borderline misogyny, which is technically the same thing. It's just something that happens out here. I've been disrespected by men, and only men out here. And it's not to say I don't run into women, but the women that I run into are actually pretty respectful, and more so they're rooting me on. It's not every woman. Some women are just quiet. Some women could be a little annoying, but not rude, not avidly rude. But there's men who have called me out of my name. There's men who have ignored me, like to the extent where it's blatant. It's not something that you question. You know how somebody's like, oh, maybe they didn't hear me. No, I've had people ignore me, like how I just explained in my last clip. People will ignore you for like 10 minutes. And I don't feel like that is specifically a woman's issue. I feel like there's just a lot of men out here with a chip on their shoulder, and it does carry on to men having that issue as well. But as a woman, I can't neglect that issue. So I really only say that to say, if and when you come out here as a woman trucker, have in your mind that there are going to be some instances where being a woman out here makes your situation a tad bit more difficult. I'm not even going to go into the safety part of that, because I feel like that's an entirely different video. Of course, you're going to run into situations where you feel like you have to question everything just to feel safe out here. You're definitely going to have to be more cautious out here, but that's definitely a different video. When it comes down to being a woman out here, you just have to have a positive mindset. You have to be cautious. I hate to say it, but there's a specific way to fight this battle that I honestly can't even express to you. I can only point out to you the situations that both I and other women have faced out here, because I honestly don't know the solution besides it being in the man's hands, because it's not in our hands. I can assume that we're often blindsided out here. It's not more so our fault. We're not actively trying to track that type of negative response from men. I unfortunately don't have a solution on how to keep these types of things from happening. Of course, there are minor things that you can do here and there, but the reality is, I believe that it's not up to us, it's up to men. It's up to men to start respecting us more. It's up to men to start valuing us and not looking at us as inferior to them when we're out here on the road driving trucks. It's not everybody. It's not all men, of course. I'm not saying all men are like this. The men I've run into, there's been some who have been very uplifting when it comes to being a woman out here. They are excited, ecstatic that there are women out here and things like that. But I've only had my issues with men, technically, from what I can remember. Nevertheless, not every day is a bad day, and not every situation is a terrible situation, but you will have situations. One thing I will say though before I go, don't let any of this deter you, because 9 times out of 10 you were dealing with this before you got in a trucker's seat anyway. This is something that you deal with despite having a license. You can deal with this walking down your street to the grocery store. You can deal with this at a high-end facility. You can deal with this in the hood, okay? It doesn't quite matter where you're at, but fortunately, being a trucker, you technically run into it a little bit more. Understand that the only thing that you can control is yourself. You can't control anyone else. You can't control how someone treats you. You can only control what you do, how you respond, how you treat people. And if you are able to control yourself to the extent that you are positive, oftentimes you will rub off on that person. In the event that you don't rub off on that person, just know that it's not worth getting upset and causing a rift. 9 times out of 10, cursing someone out or getting back at them or reciprocating their energy is not going to give you a solution in any way, shape, or form. Half the time you won't even feel better about it. I'm praying for those of you who are starting in trucking. Don't think that this is like the tip of the iceberg when it comes down to trucking. There will be instances where you run into the most sweetest people out here, a lot of which will be men, okay? So don't think that this is something that you should think too hard about. Like I said, you probably ran into this type of stuff anyway, okay? But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Leave advice down in the comments. Men, if you have something to say about this, as long as it's positive, definitely leave it down in the comments. Women, if you have situations that you run into and you found, I guess, micro solutions to these situations, leave them down in the comments as well. But I love you all so much, and I cannot wait to see you all in the next video. Bye.